learn the climate resilient development. And as Saulet said, we're about to know about the progress so far from the previous year and plans for this year with specific interventions. In concluding, I would like to thank all of you for your active participation. PB is a consultative body. It is about project management. So we're looking forward for your active participation in our discussions, and we would be happy to hear your feedback, your insights. Best of luck to all of you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm lost in the buttons. So if you don't mind, I will start my part of intervention. I will share my screen with presentation. So I'd like to present to you the annual work plan for 2023 and report for year 2022. The presentation is already available in 2 languages for the benefit of users. Well, just brief info about the project. The budget is 960,000. It is a direct implementation by UNDP, which is a project modality. However, we have established the project board, especially to ensure that everyone is involved in project implementation. It is our kind of voluntary commitment that we have undertaken. This consists of 2 components. First is dedicated to lower carbon technology and resource saving technology. The second component is about countering droughts on a national scale, so creating a system that would help prevent the droughts. In September, we have launched the project, and it will end in the end of 2023. So 31st of March is the end day of the project. Component 1 or output 1 consists of several tasks. First, to select pilots and install renewable sources of energy for at least 10 farms. Our partners from the National Chamber of Entrepreneurs will deliver their part of implementation. Also, implement simple digital solutions for farmers, and then explain this technology to the farmers. Also, we're supposed to introduce at least 5 simple digital solutions and at least 2 smart and innovative technology for water conservation in farming. So this large output is implemented together with the National Chamber of Entrepreneurs, and it will be a separate presentation dedicated to this particular output. I'm just giving some highlights. Second component, so on output 1, we have identified the partner, which is the National Chamber of Entrepreneurs. We have selected the pilot farms in 4 provinces of Kazakhstan. JSB, well, JSB and Almaty come together. However, when we launched the project, there was no this division. So it was still in process, but we call it like JSB province, North Kazakhstan, then East Kazakhstan, in Aktobe province. So from each of them, we have chosen farms like 3, 2, 2, and 3 in each, respectively. Why these 4? Because they represent 4 different provinces: north, west, east, south, and decision or solutions to be implemented would be relevant for this particular location. So we assessed the energy consumption. So we identified what the technology concerns. We visited the pilot farms. It was a very interesting trip. We talked to the farmers, talked about different things, and everyone answered positively about the concern, such as drought, both relevant for plant production and husbandry, livestock husbandry. We have procured equipment, solar stations, irrigation systems, pumps, solar collectors, and some digital solutions, which our colleagues will talk about more. And this is a little map, and we try to follow the best traditions of Japan. So it's like infographics with name of the companies. Like Inkobe, it's Antemak, Bolashar, Ardagım. So they produce, if I'm not wrong, dairy products. Ardahan is on fishery side in Almaty. There is a farm, Don, Chilik, Fermeri Chilik, and Fermeri Chilik is an NGO which unites farmers in Almaty province and help them grow greenhouses. So they join efforts to install greenhouse. And Asia Gold is herbs, like medicinal herbs. In North Kazakhstan, this is Karatamara and Sukhova on poultry. So we didn't focus on large-scale farms, more on middle-size companies. And in East Kazakhstan, Paspelf and Shigis Universal. So this is the dairy products. The second output is scaling up adaptation tools. And this is where we work together with Kaz Hydromet. And as part of this output too, we have assessed the needs of Kazakhstan Hydrometeorological Service to understand what is necessary to warn about upcoming droughts. So we procured equipment for Kaz Hydromet. First batch of equipment is already delivered. Very soon we will have another batch of equipment to be delivered. And the scope of work was the strengthening coordination mechanisms and local authorities' capacity to ensure early response to drought. So we want to create a response system under which every trained staff and local authorities will know how to respond if Kaz Hydromet forecasts the drought, and then they will have a flowchart, a chain of actions to take measures that would help respond to drought efficiently. So we have made an assessment. We found our potential partner, which is the emergency center in Almaty, and we're working together on a response system.
Apologies. There is one slide in between. So what about the plans for the next year? In terms of output one, we are going to install the equipment at pilot farms. We bought the equipment and it's awaiting installation. We will install digital solutions at pilot farms. There will be 5 model solutions. And also we will arrange trainings across Kazakhstan with participation of at least 25 people in each training. There will be 7 trainings in many regions, but some of them will be done online and some of them will be face-to-face. And also we are planning to conduct a study tour for farmers and mass media to exchange the experiences. In the output number 1. In the second output, we are attracting the investments and we are handing the equipment over to Kaz Hydromet, and we develop the drought prevention system. We will conduct trainings for the akimats of regions, and also we will develop a coordination mechanism for responding to drought. And also we will exchange the experience with the Japanese Meteorological Agency for Kaz Hydromet and other specialists. And here you can see the plan. I'm not going to read it all. And of course, we will also deliver some activities to raise the awareness of the public, and we will arrange workshops, we will prepare publications, we will also post in our social media. So in social networks, please follow us there. In output 2, it's the same. We are doing the following work. We will install the equipment at Hydromet service, and we will develop special IT tools and a training course. This work is going on. So it's underway. There will be at least 5 trainings for the hydrometeorological service staff and for the regional and district mayor's offices, akimats. And also we will conduct study tours of Hydromet to Japan. Yesterday, we had a very good meeting with the Japanese embassies in Kazakhstan. Thank you, Kanata-san, for joining and for sharing your opinion. And we will provide the logistical support to this process. We will develop the scheme of drought response, and we will deliver trainings on how to better respond to the drought. And during the trainings, we will see the bottlenecks that have to be addressed. In terms of communications, in the project, my colleague Ayjan was supposed to speak, but she's sick. Apologies for that. Let me share this as well. And everything we talk about here is also shared by the Japanese government and Japanese UNDP office. And naturally, there are very interesting notes in Twitter, in Instagram, and we had numerous joint events. And everything I'm sharing here, everything is duplicated and shared jointly via social networks. We are preparing videos, we deliver information in different ways. Online, we have many movies and articles, and we'll do more. And our partners who are joining us will also participate actively. You can see a picture of a farmer in the North Kazakhstan region. We talked to him about the potential installation of equipment. And one of the main prerequisites, which is needed under the steering committee meeting context, these are the project risks. And there are 3 major risks. First, the COVID pandemic may come back, and this may have an effect on project implementation, including construction works. We'll have to redesign the access and the construction process, and the country office, the project manager, will have to take care of it. And everything that could be done online will be done online. We have huge experience doing that because for 2 or 3 years, UNDP worked online, and we have experience here, including construction. Of course, it won't be online construction, but there are approaches to construction that can do something online. Another risk is that the project may take longer than planned. You can see that the project is very small. It's very short, and for me, it's the biggest challenge here, because it may have an effect on the activities and their delivery, both planning and implementation. And UNDP and country office and project manager will have to take care of it. And what can we do? We can initiate the extension of the project with the help of the Embassy of Japan in Kazakhstan. We'll have to approach the embassy that will have to say we are okay with it, and in that case, the project could be extended. And the third risk for the project is that there could be changes in government priorities, structure, and public policy. But soon, another set of elections is planned. The agency was reorganized, reshuffled. It has a different name now. And this may have an effect on the project. But overall, it's being addressed. We are always keeping in touch with our ministry, with the Department of Climate Change and Climate Policy and Green Technologies, and we are always keeping in touch. Therefore, this risk is not big. It exists, but it's not big. That's all from me. Here you see my contact details, my telephone number, my email. And should you have any questions or any wishes or anything else like feedback, please contact me. Thank you so much. I do not have anything else on this matter, and the next presentation will be made by Yerkin Nauruzbekov, Atomican Chamber of Entrepreneurs. Please. Thank you, dear participants of the meeting. I'm happy to welcome you all. May I start? Yes, I think that you may start. Thank you. I hope you can hear me well. Yes, Yerkin. I wanted to start by saying that we are implementing this project together with the UNDP and with the support of the government of Japan. And as Saulet said, the project is called using NDCs for net zero and sustainable climate resilient development in response to the emergency situation related to climate change. That's the full name of the project. And now let me share some brief information about the current situation, what we are doing already. And Saulet has mentioned that truly we announced that we will need to choose in 4 regions of our country 10 pilot farms, north, south, east, west. And we made the advertisement. We approached the farmers in every district center. We have representatives of Atomican and JICA and UNDP made visits to the regions to choose the pilot farms from 26th of October to the 8th of November last year. And we also published the advertisement on the website of Atomican Chamber of Entrepreneurs in November 2022. 36 applications in 7 sub-industries of agriculture were selected, and a methodology was designed with the criteria like no debt in taxation. So we chose 10 pilot farms in 7 sub-industries of agriculture, like medicinal herbs, vegetables, fish, dairy, meat, poultry, and remote grazing, like the horse production and sheep production. And here you can see the titles of the farms: Asia Gold, Chilik Farmers, and others. And also in this project, in accordance with the terms of reference of UNDP, we were supposed to engage an international expert. As you can see, we chose Jörg Andreas Dinkelacker. He's from Germany. That's his brief CV. Why we selected him? Because he was fitting very well for the topic of this project. That's his short portfolio, the project he used to implement. Also, we prepared and signed 7 contracts for the delivery of solar power plants, helio systems, dripping irrigation, storm water equipment. And also, we prepared and signed 7 additional contracts for the acceptance of agreement and installation and maintenance, as well as 10 contracts with pilot farms on the custodianship, so safe storage of the equipment before it is installed. Here you can see the examples of the contracts on delivery. And they include technical specifications of equipment very well, the equipment that is needed there, for instance, solar power plants and helio systems. 6 sets of helio systems, 6 sets of solar power plants, like solar panels, inverters, accumulators. They are located at the suppliers' warehouses and being ready for shipment. According to the suppliers, they are fully meeting the terms of references and technical specifications. One of the requirements, one of the conditions was that the main equipment must be produced in EU. And after the shipment, the quality will be checked for the quantity and for the quality, so that it meets the technical specifications in terms of reference. Here you can see the photo from the warehouses. So the equipment has arrived from Germany, from the Netherlands, as of 5th of February 2023. The stormwater equipment, drum type, they are also at the warehouse of a vendor, ready to be shipped, fully in line with the technical specifications. Then the quality and quantity will be checked as well. So this is the photo as of February 2023. Dripping irrigation, you can see here that it's fully meeting the technical specifications produced in Israel. Then the quantity and quality will be also checked upon delivery. The photos as of the 1st of February. And here you can see the last three pictures: remote control, remote access to the equipment. So the drip irrigation could be managed remotely. As you can see here, some more information about drip irrigation. According to the terms of references, one of the conditions was co-funding. It could be in kind or monetary. Asia Gold co-finances the project. It buys so it buys part of the equipment, like the pipelines, as well as sprinkling units. And also it helps with the delivery of equipment to the warehouses and engineering and maintenance support. And Asia Gold already paid the vendor for this equipment and the associated work. So Asia Gold paid what it had to pay, and all this auxiliary equipment is staying at warehouses of the Asia Gold company. On the 9th or 10th of February, the supplier will deliver the equipment bought for Asia Gold fittings, flags, pipelines, and the installation will start. And I'd like to highlight here that according to the delivery contracts between the Atomic N and the farms, and after the act of acceptance is signed, Atomic N takes an obligation to pay the supplier within 10 days. On the 10th of January, we signed the contract with the suppliers. Suppliers will have to deliver equipment by the 24th of February, and within 7 calendar days, we have to pay. Here you see the preliminary schedule of deliveries, and we'd like to let you know that at the SPK Chilix farmers, it already received the equipment, and the acts of acceptance was signed, and the equipment is fully in line with the terms of references, technical specifications in terms of the producing country, and so on and so forth, like the composition of equipment. Speaking of trainings, according to the updated terms of reference, we have to conduct the trainings in all regions, except for the cities of Republican importance. There is a draft training program. It's being agreed with the UNDP now. The schedule of trainings was prepared. It's also being agreed with the UNDP. As Saulet said, we suggest 7 regions to cover offline, with offline trainings face-to-face, and the other regions will receive online trainings. This will be remote online trainings with at least 25 participants, and we think that the total number of participants, the farmers, will be more than 400 people. And presentations will be prepared for the trainings. Here you can see the example of one of the presentations. In accordance with the updated terms of reference, we have to do a study tour to one of the countries where we see the intensive development and implementation of water-saving technologies and renewable energy sources. Given that we invited the global experts from Germany and we studied the experience of Germany, we can see that they are one of the leaders in terms of implementation of water-saving technologies and renewable energy sources. We sent a request to the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Environment so that they submit their candidates. And the study too should help us to study the German experience in water saving technologies, as well as organization of the workshop presenting the German experience in renewable energy sources, water saving, study tours to the farms dealing with the dairy, plant production, and other industries like poultry, fishery, where we have many enterprises. Study tours to the infrastructure sites and other sites relevant for the project. We are working with Bavarian office administration and others.
All the other facilities that we are going to visit. In just in a nutshell, the current activities, it's about developing the standard solutions for transition to the renewable sources of energy and water saving technology. So we designed presentation and handouts. We developed documents for the transfer of the equipment purchased for the farmers on a gradual basis. And we have ongoing negotiations on the study tour to Germany. And we have a list of workshops for farmers of Kazakhstan. So from 1st to 10th of March in 7 provinces and in line format in 10 provinces from March 13 to 15. And we are designing a storyboard for a 5-minute video. And we are designing a media plan how to cover this project with the press, with Yale, Gala, Yale, KZ. So these are the dedicated portals on agriculture that we expect to disseminate information among farmers, and farmers will be able to use this water-saving technology and renewables. Thank you so much. I'm ready to answer your questions. Thank you so much, Yerken. Very good presentation. Indeed, I would like to thank our partners, the National Chamber of Entrepreneurs at Amiken, for their lasting support, for being so attentive to details in their activities and dedicated to the agreements. We have become good partners as part of this project. Thank you. Saulet, you are muted. My apologies. I'd like to give the floor to Azamat Kovazov. Hello, dear colleagues. I will share my screen now. Can you see it? Yes, you have some background noise in the back. I'm an expert on the capacity building for hydrometeorological service of Kazakhstan. The North Kazakhstan territory gives 100% of yield on winter crops and spring crops. And this is important for Kazakhstan and for all Central Asian region, because Kazakhstan is the exporter of grain, and the drought in this region is of particular significance. The grain of North Kazakhstan goes to Russia, countries of Europe, because of high quality. The drought occurs with time, it evolves with time, it happens because of anticyclone. So from very sunshine day, the situation can get worse. So atmospheric drought starts, then it goes to the evaporation of humidity from soil, then it could be soil drought, water drought, and this results in incapability of plants to extract water from underground, and evapotranspiration could be faster than they can get humidity, and this results in the loss of vegetation capacity, and this leads to the loss of the yield of the harvest. And it's a very challenging process which takes a lot of time, and this creates a lot of challenges because versus other emergencies, a drought cannot happen overnight with clear onset and the end. The problem with drought is that the events occur not linear. So what types of droughts we can experience? Like spring drought, it starts early spring after the sowing campaign, and then it's young crops, and then the tillering starts, and this happens because of low snow in the previous winter with a lot of snow, with little snow cover, and then early summer drought. It happens because of higher temperature. So spring drought can happen with warm weather as well. What challenges we have and what barriers we experience in monitoring and forecasting the droughts? Let me say that to a larger extent, these issues are common for hydrometeorological services in Kazakhstan and elsewhere. And compared to developed countries in Kazhydromet, they have a lot of indices and parameters that would explain the drought, but there is no kind of integrated description. As I said before, there are different types of droughts, and many indices can indicate a particular drought, like meteorological or surface or subsurface drought. So they should be one index that would explain and make it clear to all. And the territory of Kazakhstan is really vast, and every province has its own features. Far north or south of Kostanay Oblast province, for them, they need different criteria and indicators of the drought onset or ranging the drought in terms of its intensity, which also requires some methodological support to apply these parameters. Another is using manual work with little technology used, and estimates are based on 255 weather stations across Kazakhstan, and the estimates are multi-tiered, and a lot of data is used, like daily data on temperature, precipitation, name of the weather station, indices, coordinates, and all this information is stored in different tables. And the staff of Kazhydromet has to transfer manually data from one table to another, and sometimes you need to search for some data, and part of activity is automated, and this could be in the form of index, but not a name. And then the forecast specialists have to change the numeric number to the letter, which is used in the system. And this is done manually. It takes a lot of time. It's unproductive, with a lot of staff involved in this unproductive work. And take into account that it's 21st century, the core issue is to have everything automated so that this routine work is automated. The data could be easily copied from different tables and thus accelerating preparation of output data, forecasts, estimates, and having this output data available, because output data also takes time, and some of the data is produced manually. Yet another challenge is it's about sharing the forecast data. This is a nationwide issue because many national hydrometeorological services release information, but not always users can have access to this information. For instance, if there is a release on droughts, the target audience is farmers, but farmers sometimes do not understand what is written in the communication, and farmers need some time to have special education to understand this forecast data. And of course, the output data should be reformatted in a user-friendly way to make it useful and relevant for different users, because apart from different farming facilities, research institutions, and so on. And moreover, this information, apart from being clear, should result in a particular action. And this could be followed by another challenge, lack of like computers. This is a big issue for the agro industry. The most sophisticated computers are used to create models of weather and climate. It is a 3-dimension modeling with a time dimension and resolution. A lot of capacity is necessary to do this work, and very heavy-duty service should be available. And it's not always possible to buy this equipment, which is very expensive. And there is a deficit of heavy-duty computers, and CAS Hydromet may not rely on services. The services are necessary to process data, and this data could also be producing estimates for the current time period and for the future. And after the forecasts are produced and then posted on the websites or other platforms for the target audience, there is an effect of peak moments, which is a well-known phenomenon. In some peak moments, there could be connection issues, because in normal timing, the capacity is enough. And for peak moments, resources are scarce. And if there is a large-scale drought, it could be a lot of users getting access to the system, and the servers are not capable of addressing all the requests. And the modern technology require post-processing, so not only using the output, but having the output based on the user's inquiry. And the server capacity, I mean, the bigger server capacity would help address this bottleneck, just to make the work more efficiently and providing more accurate information. And then more people would be warned about upcoming droughts. Yet another problem is about skills of staff. Only 10 people in the KAS Hydromet have a degree, educational degree, which is a little number comparing to the overall around 3,000 people. Majority of them are observers, and they are responsible for forecasting, which is the most difficult work. It's about uncertain implications of a certain weather event, and these experts have to rely on the practical and theoretical knowledge of meteorology. For instance, if we talk about the drought, meteorology, climatology, agrometeorology, forecasting methodology should be very well known by this staff. But in order to build the capacity of staff, we need to engage research and science. And in Kazakhstan, we have very bad situation with the science, particularly with hydrometeorological situation. And the KAS Hydromet University is gone. So we have to rely on the universities, and only one university is graduating the specialists, meteorologists, and it would be great decision to join efforts of young specialists and experienced staff in addressing the hydrometeorological issues and drought in particular, so that the master students or PhD students in their thesis could take a topic of drought. And one of the biggest challenge we have is that we try to address issues related to the drought forecast, methodology, and many more. Its response. Drought is a special category of emergency, and drought does not incur any immediate implication. It does not destroy infrastructure. Drought does not result in casualties of people, so it creates a very deceptive impression. And the measures are taken only when the drought is clear, it's visible, when the drought manifests itself. But these actions are low efficient, and these actions do not help be prepared for the next demonstration of drought. So these actions are targeting a particular case, and the drought should not be treated as some sporadic event. Response plans should be prepared in advance, and then the data should be channeled to respective authorities and stakeholders to make it clear on the grounds what you should do and what measures should be taken in order to decrease the negative consequences of drought. Drought is a large-scale natural event which you cannot avoid, but we can reduce the implications of drought. And in this respect, the response plans are very important. Let me also say this issue is a cornerstone issue because it is a paramount issue, and having technology in place would help address many issues. Even if you have the best plan, but you don't take action, the plan is useless. In this regard, it would be great the response plans to such events are seriously taken by the authorized body with a lot of expertise, and the response plans are very well implemented on the ground. This is a great component for the whole system, but very often it falls beyond the KAZ Hydromet competence, because this authority does not have any powers to respond. It provides just the forecast, and then response is the duty of other institutions. So this is kind of a derivative of the work that KAZ Hydromet is doing. This is a big challenge. A lot discussions have been made. My time is limited, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. But if you have any questions, I'm open.
Thank you, Azamat. You can stop the screen sharing now. Thank you. Nona, would you like to add anything here as a representative of KAZ Hydromet? Hello. The internet wasn't stable, though. Yes, we cannot hear you well. If you could turn your camera off. I hope it's better now. Let me share some brief feedback about the project. The problem is there. I can add personally to what was shared by Azamat. The information from KAZ Hydromet is being delivered openly. It is published where possible. So we open our information, we publish it on the official website, and we provide the information to state bodies without any limitations. So we are trying to be in line with the consumer needs. I'd like to say the following here. We do have some tools for drought forecasting, and there are certain drawbacks. I'm not going to dive into details, but really the drought prevention system that is being developed under this project is very much needed. We'd like to see it integrated in our work in order to address the mentioned issues. Once again, to complement what the previous speaker said, we have a problem, which is technical equipment. We try to handle the tasks set for us. But speaking of drought again, what does it mean, drought? So it's about forecasting of precipitation. And overall, the precipitations are being forecasted quite well. But in order to process this big amount of data on precipitation, we need better capacities. We cannot cover entire Kazakhstan. So we need additional technical equipment to cover whole Kazakhstan, to have a grid with better density of measurement devices. The speech is inaudible, unfortunately. So better density of measurement would help the forecasting of precipitation. Well, the sound is very poor, but I think I got the main message. Let me try to summarize. First, you do have tools to forecast the precipitation, but you don't have enough capacities. You don't have enough coverage, and therefore these new capacities that are being handed over by the project will help with the better management, and it will also allow to provide more data in open access for different users. Yes, that's the right message. You summarized that well. I think that now it's the most effective support possible for the operational activities. Well, it's not a problem, but let's say there is an issue of seasonal workload. During summer, our computers do not cool down because we always work. We have to process a lot of information. So we have to process lots of information in summer. Thank you, Nona, because the sound is really intermittent, but thank you, we got the main message. So we understand that you are providing support to us for the project, and you're accepting the equipment. The first set of equipment was already handed over, and high quality and high capacity service will be delivered soon. And I hope that they will be installed very soon and that they will be used for the drought forecasting. On the 20th, I'd like to invite the Ministry, JICA, the Embassy of Japan. On the 20th, we are planning to hand over the equipment. We'll send you the official letter. It will be official handover procedure in KAS Hydromet. We are working on that. Thank you very much. Now let's see our agenda. Now it's a Q&A session. Do you have any questions or do you have any feedback or proposals? Anything to add? Saulet, may I? Yes, of course, Shatik. First of all, I thank all the speakers. Very interesting presentations from the people who are engaged in this project. I have a following question. There are so many activities planned related to provision of equipment, machinery. It's natural and it's clear that we will hand over the equipment to KAS Hydromet. It has capacities to maintain it. But what to do with the farmers? Let's say in the past, they never used this equipment. If there are technical problems, technical issues with the equipment, of course, we will train them in this project. But how to avoid a situation when the equipment that we buy and install would fail? So how to avoid this? Are there any efforts to handle that? Thank you. May I respond? Sure. You are asking a question about 10 pilot farms. Yes, we discussed this issue in the very beginning with the UNDP, and we obliged the suppliers to do proper installation. Because for some farmers, it's more convenient to install something on the roof or near the industrial premises. You know, there's fastenings and everything. There will be training how to use the equipment. And also, there is a warranty period. Also, there is a maintenance as part of the warranty and training, of course. The equipment that we chose for them, like water saving, renewable energy sources, this equipment is quite easy to understand and study. During the installation and training, farmers will feel comfortable using it. But it's a good question about the equipment. How the warranty is organized. And there are components who have warranty of 5 years, like for the inverters at solar power plants. The warranty period is even 10 years. They'll have to bear the peak load. It's a known fact. They are up to 5 kilowatt. So the capacity is up to 5 kilowatt. And the peak load in summer, if it's sunny, it could be up to 9 kilowatt generation of electricity. And here it's very important for the inverters to handle that and to bear this peak load. So in the terms of reference, we are specifying the training, warranty, service book, and everything else. It will be all supporting the equipment. And it will be a connection, we call it turnkey connection, including training how to take care of accumulators, inverters, how to take care of solar panels, how to check the dust and everything. Those who have access to internet, so let's mention that we have at least 5 digital solutions to track the composition of a set of the equipment. They need access to internet for that, but unfortunately not all the pilot farms have access to internet. Where it is possible, there will be remote access. It will be possible to track the condition of equipment via cell phone, like how much they accumulated energy, when is the peak consumption, and so on and so forth. I hope I answered your question. Thank you, Yerken. Any questions, recommendations? Maybe embassy, JICA. Mr. Kanato, please. Kanato-san,
yes.
over to you.
Can you hear me? Yes. Dorigen Yakanata is Pasolistova Yaponski. Can you hear my voice? Yes. Yeah, sorry, я не понимаю по-русски, so извините, пожалуйста, я говорю английский.
I will speak
And,
Russian.
so, yeah.
I prefer to speak Russian.
Thank you for arranging the third project board meeting today. I'm very happy with the project. It's progressing well. Yesterday, I had a meeting with the JICA colleagues, and I asked them to consult with our embassy at any time of you, anytime there are any problems regarding the progress of the project. And as you know, the in last December, the Central Asia plus Japan Foreign Minister meeting was held in Tokyo. At that meeting, ministers, Central Asians, Foreign Minister and Japanese minister decided to establish and develop cooperation along new models with emphasis on investment in people and the quality of growth in economy, society, and human exchanges. And ministers concurred on strengthening practical cooperation on new development model, including in the direction of the decarbonization and green growth. I hope this project will become a good practice of our cooperation of decarbonization and green growth. At today's meeting, so in my understanding, there are some issues. For example, extension of this project and this project term, and also you also mentioned the study tour to Japan. And so embassy will do our best to make arrangement to ensure that this project goes smoothly. Yes, I would like to say again, so I would like to keep in touch with all of your UNDP and all colleagues for this project. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kanata-san, for your kind wishes, for your support. It's our great pleasure to invite you to our events. Some time ago, we had a field visit. It was joined by JICA specialists, and I hope they liked the field visit. We had to choose the farms where the equipment will be installed. It was a very interesting field visit, and we hope that you will have time to visit the farms where when everything is installed there, for you to see how Japanese people help Kazakhstan combat climate change. Once everything is installed, we hope that it will happen in the nearest future. Now I'd like to move to the miscellaneous section. Do you have any recommendations regarding project implementation? Any proposals, if you have any? I don't see any. Thank you. Now let's wrap up. Let me give the floor to our colleague Shatik Vestimirova. She is the National Project Director. Shatik, over to you, please. Thank you, Saulet. Thank you, dear participants. Dear Embassy of Japan, we extend our appreciation for your support in organizing matters and also in terms of study tours organization. We thank Atamiken. We are so happy to see active participation of Atamiken. Thank you for a detailed response to my question. And I think that wrapping up this meeting, we can really highlight successful implementation of the project over the last year, 2022. We hope that we will finish this project duly. And also in terms of our agenda today, what did we plan? To approve the project plan for 2023, the tasks for this year, I hope they will be implemented properly. And in terms of draft minutes, we wanted to approve the signing of the partnership agreement to implement component 2 with the Center on Emergency Situations. It's located in Almaty, right? Saulet, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Thank you so much for your participation, dear participants. Thank you indeed. I really hope that all the participants of project board meeting received documents. You have the agenda, draft of the minutes, and should you have any comments or proposals, you're more than welcome. You can take the floor now if you want. Yes, yes, please. Indeed, there are risks which you have already expressed, but in working manner, we discussed many things and we hope to resolve many issues very quickly. We would like to thank the government of Japan in taking this opportunity. I would like to thank UNDP for their project, which is very relevant, very efficient. And after a series of publications with mass media on this project, we received so many calls, and the people are asking to share materials, share some findings and deliverables. We can see that there is impact already visible, and we should replicate this project among other farmers which fall out of this pilot farms. We would like to thank the government of Japan, the government of Kazakhstan, the UNDP for their lasting cooperation, and we really hope that the project will be implemented in the timeline which is specified, and we can address the risks together, and we can achieve good progress and attain the objectives that we set from the very beginning. May I take the floor, Saulet? Yes, of course. Dear colleagues, I would like to thank you on behalf of UNDP for your time. We're all busy people. I understand it. It's difficult to pull everyone into the project management process because you have your own agenda. We would also like to express our appreciation to our Japanese counterparts, Ms. Kanata, Mr. Tomoya, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for your great support. Indeed, the project started very difficult, but now we can see your support and colleagues of JICA actively involved in the process. They have joined us in the field missions, and we believe that in the last 3 months of our project, we can mobilize resources and implement the objectives. The period starts when we collect the outputs, and we will hand over the equipment to the KAS Hydromet, and as the project board meeting, we will visit the regions to see the results. Again, people would like to thank you for using your network in the provinces. We talked to Atomiken for a purpose because they have offices in all the provinces of Kazakhstan, and they provide independent expert assessment on subsidizing of the agriculture. And taking this, we have addressed Atomiken. I believe that we can have many more projects in the future. Shattik, thank you for attending our PB meetings constantly, for requesting information about the project implementation and some organizational issues. Every decision by the project board are very relevant, and they are reflected in the minutes. It is a ministry, it is a project manager, Shattik, who will sign this draft minutes. We will share a copy with you, provide your feedback or comments by Friday. If we do not receive any feedback, proposals, or objections by Friday, we will deem this document as approved by you, and then Shattik will sign this on behalf of the project board as a whole. Thank you. Right, thank you. It's my pleasure. Well, we call it a day, and in the nearest future, I will send you the draft minutes. I have made the list of participants. If you need this for networking purposes, you can use it. Okay, thank you so much.